January 9, waging war. Beloved, I beg of you as sojourners and pilgrims, abstain from fleshly lusts, which war against the soul. 1 Peter 2:11. The old saying is that familiarity breeds contempt. It is easy to lack appreciation for that which has become commonplace. When it comes to spiritual matters, there's a real danger that familiarity with sin can cause the gravity of sin to seem less serious than it actually is. Believers in Jesus are at risk of failing to recognize how harmful some things are. Unbridled carnal desire is rampant in society, and it has become so common that we might fail to recognize how successful Satan has been in this area. Magazines sold at supermarket checkout counters routinely display extraordinarily suggestive headlines in full view of children. Store windows show pictures that would have been unacceptable a generation ago. News publications and websites geared toward the general public commonly discuss R or even X-rated themes. Before we dismiss such concerns as old-fashioned, we must remember Peter's caution that fleshly lust war against the soul. In other words, they are dangerous for us in the light of eternity. Peter states that passions inappropriately indulged work against one's spiritual well-being. There are some roads that, when traveled, ultimately make it impossible for a believer to stay connected to Jesus. Sin is not harmless, and Satan knows how to weaken a person, often slowly and over long periods. For their own eternal good, the Bible urges followers of God to turn their backs on some things that society embraces. Many lives that are irrevocably ruined would have turned out otherwise if temptations had been resisted. It would be wrong to suggest that resisting the sins of the flesh is always a simple matter, but it would be equally as wrong to suggest that such temptations cannot be resisted through God's power. For 6,000 years, Satan has studied human nature with the purpose of presenting temptation in its most effective form. Peter's counsel reminds us that we are engaged in an intense spiritual war. God's grace is necessary to keep us from anything that will lead us out of the footsteps of Jesus.